All right, guys, we're going to work on percentiles. We did this a long time ago. It is in the UT booklet that I was looking at, and it's kind of a big deal. So it's really something you may use a lot, even when you're not taking statistics. So probably good to review it one more time. Okay, definition of percentile. Percentile is just a measure of location, like where data value is in the whole set of data. Basically, it divides the whole set of data into 100 groups, each with about 1%, 1% of the values in each group. So, for example, a number that is the 50th percentile would be like right smack in the middle. That'd be the median, actually. It's denoted this way: P lowercase 50, or P subscript 50, means it has about 50% of the data below it and 50% above it. If it was a 75th percentile, and notice we're not writing a percent sign. You don't write percent signs with percentiles, which is kind of weird, but you don't do that. In the number that's the 75th percentile it would have 75% below it and 25% above it. So the number itself, the percentile number, tells you how many data values about are below it. Very close to being exactly that number below it. So, for example, if your IQ is in the 90th percentile, it means your IQ is higher than 90% of everyone. And there's only 10% of everyone else who has a higher IQ than you do. So that's how we kind of use percentiles. Use it a lot on standardized testing, ACT, SAT, things like that. All right, here's how you find the percentile. If you have a value, you take the number of values less than the number, whatever number you're looking at, divide it by how many numbers are all together, multiply by 100, and there's your percentile. I'm going to show you an example of that real quick. All right, it says find the percentile for 23 in the table. All right, there's a lot of 23s, and when that's the case, we're going to take the first 23, which is right here. Right, there's the first 23. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many numbers are less than 23. Oh, by the way, I've already counted. There are 40 numbers in this table. Each row has 10, which means there's 10 numbers less than the 23. There's 40 altogether. I'm going to multiply that by 100. Okay, that's really 1/4 of 100, which is 25, which means 23 is the 25th percentile, which means, again, 25% of the numbers are below 23, and about 75% are above 23, which is, looking at the table, that's pretty accurate. Okay, we're also going to go backwards. We're also going to, given a percentile, we're going to find a data value that gives us a certain percentile. So here's the steps. Step 1, we're going to put arrange the data from least to highest. That's probably going to be done for you anyway. Number 2, here's how we're going to compute it. And L is our percentile. We're going to do K over 100 times N. N is how many values there are. K is the percentile in question. So if I ask you for the 25th percentile, K is 25. Okay, here's where it gets a little weird. Number 3, if L is a whole number, the percentile is midway between that value and the next value up. Okay, so we're going to basically find the mean of those two values. If L is not a whole number, we're just going to round up every time to the next largest whole number, and that's going to be your percentile. So the value of the percentile is the Lth value coming from the lowest. Okay, so I'm going to show you one of each of those cases so that you're golden for either one. All right, here it is. Find the value of the 18th percentile. Okay, so the formula I gave you in the last page was this right here: was L equals K over 100 times N. Remember, K is the percentile. So I'm going to say the percentile, I'm looking for the 18th percentile, 18 over 100, times N. N is how many numbers there are. This is the same table. There's 40 numbers. When I work that out and punch in my calculator, I got 7.2. Now, because that's a decimal, I'm always going to round up. I'm going to round it up to 8. So what that means, I'm looking for, 8's not the answer, I'm looking for the 8th number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right there, 22. So 22 would be the number that is the 18th percentile. That would be P18, or the 18th percentile. That's if it doesn't come out even. Okay, I want to show you one that does come out even so we can look at that too, because this is the only other case you're going to see. This one says find the 25th percentile, so I'm going to do the same thing. L equals K over 100. K is the percentile, so I'm doing 25 over 100 times N. N is 40. So I'm looking for, and I'll work that out, I get 10. I get like exactly 10. So I'm looking for the 10th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's right there, but because it's a whole number, remember, you don't just take the 22, which is kind of weird, and you don't round up. You find the next number up, which is 23, and you find the midpoint between those two numbers. So the 25th percentile is going to be halfway between 22 and 23, which is 22.5. That would be the 25th percentile, which means obviously 25% of the numbers are below it, 75% are above it. Hope that's a good review for you. This is really a good stuff and something you really need to know, because as far as what you're going to use in real life, to be honest with you, this is one of those things. When you have kids, one day you're going to take them to the doctor when they're little, and they're going to tell you, well, your height is in the 50th percentile and your weight is in the 80th percentile, and you know kind of what that means. All right, so that's just one example, but they're used a lot. All right, your assignment's going to be on a Google Doc. A few problems there. Work it out, turn on Google Classroom, and don't forget Google Meet again on Wednesday. Wednesday's our day, so you only have 14 more school days of this, so finish strong. Gonna miss you guys.